Hello everyone, what's up? This is Nick signing in once again to this particular session, and today I have a very special guest for all of you people who are available out here. None other than Mr. Rohit Manjrekar is going to be joining with us right now, and he's already live with us in this particular session, and it's my honor and it's my privilege to host him on my particular channel. This has been a very long journey for me also in the media and entertainment industry, but sir is one of the person who is in the industry since ages now. It's been more than I think 3 decades, if I'm not wrong, sir, right? So
Yeah,
sir has
don't make me feel so old.
no sir, you don't look old, but the experience that you hold is amazing. It's fantastic, and I hope the audience who will be watching us would definitely be looking forward to learn a lot from this particular session, because successful people are only successful if they're ready to sacrifice. And also I would like to inform this to all of the viewers and the audience who are here, that if you are here, we want you to make this particular session maximum usage out of this session. Make a note, make sure that you have a notebook, pen and a paper also ready, so that if sir is giving you some kind of inputs, you can jot it down on your sheets. And this is going to be a bit of info entertainment kind of a session that we're going to be doing. So sir, are you ready to rock it?
No problem. जब भी आप ready हो, we can start.
Sir has been into the industry from a long period of time. He has been a musician and a student by himself right now. He has been a gold medalist. He has won multiple gold medals also in his entire journey so far. And he is a management student. He has been a participant of Youth Fest, which happens every year after year. I think 9 times you participated in the Youth Fest. Am I right, sir?
Yes.
So could you give a more limelight on your introduction part, if I've missed out on anything, in a little bit of more detail that I might have missed out?
Yeah, if you want to talk about my creative part, I've
Right.
musicians since school, started playing the guitar, singing, and participating in various competitions. Got into university, got into the university, national university youth festivals.
Right.
And I lived in a small town, or a mid town, you can say, called Indore, and we had to be participating in youth fest against Bombay University, Goa University, Delhi University, and I used to represent Western vocal solo.
Oh wow! Okay.
So the category in which I was winning, people would hardly expect anybody coming and winning in Western vocal solo and beating Bombay, Delhi, Pune, Bangalore, Chennai. In Western vocal and so that was it got a little noted, and I kept on doing that, and I'm still friends with a lot of Unifestians. It's probably one of the biggest community now. It's musicians of my age since their school and their colleges. I'm talking about 1986 onwards.
Oh my God, way back. This is a long journey that sir has been a part of. So sir, how did you begin your journey in with T-Series, with Z and all that stuff? When I went to your LinkedIn, I read into your bio that you were also a part of Z Music, Z Cinema and all of that stuff, and in the formation team.
Z Music was not born. See, I'm talking of 1991, 92.
Okay.
What had happened that during my management itself, when people were doing summer trainings in large corporates, I took a summer training in a small music company in Mumbai, because I didn't want to, the fundamental is same. I didn't want to give up music and do management. I wanted to do both. I was trying to find a mix of both always.
Okay.
So I actually got hired one trimester before my completion of my management in this new music company as A&R manager, that is artist and repertoire manager. This is
okay.
The person who decides what to record and with whom to record and what should be the repertoire. That means what should be the library of the music company. So,
okay.
So I joined that in the films section of the music company. So I used to decide which film to buy, how much to buy for, who should sing, what should sing, etc. Of course, I had seniors who guided me. Industry-wise, at that given point of time, you had industry professionals. You didn't have too many management guys getting into entertainment business. Yeah, people were doing business and very good business, but it was not that. It was never an organized sector. it was a very creative sector, so to say. People worked on their whims on those times, and profitability was decided by a few people, and it was a different kind of an environment for a management graduate to be suited into. You had to be an artist also to you have to have the flexibility, and you have to have the management. You have to basically have the method in the madness.
Right. So now when I also did a couple of research about you, so when I typed your name on Google, there were a lot of music that have come up, and there were a lot of things. So could you just give us, or give my audience, a bit of limelight on what are the music that you have already produced or directed or been a part of, which would have some impact, and which we should be following all of those people as well to learn something out of them?
Yes, see, for a large, not a large, but for about 6-7 years, I worked in the industry in various organizations. So after my first company, Z was taking shape, that is Cellvision, and I was one of the initial people who started in programming, that is acquisition of video content now.
Okay. So Z is starting a new wing for acquisition of video and audio content.
No, Z itself is starting.
Okay, Z itself is starting. Okay.
Prior to that, there was no Z. It was only Doordarshan.
Acha. Okay.
This is the birth of Z at that given point of time. We didn't even know what's going to happen, but some of my friends who knew that I acquire audio and video content for a music company already, they told me, please come in and
help us out.
Not help us out. It was a job opportunity. In fact,
Okay.
I was grateful. Yeah. The term "help us out" is very recent for us and is very American for us. They said, you have a better opportunity, come and check it out here. So I moved from a music company acquisition into acquisition of video content and production of video content.
And what is the exact job of a video content acquisition personnel?
They're called programming managers to begin with. So that's what I started. So
okay.
You basically receive scripts, you receive the team which is going to be making it, you receive the star cast, you evaluate what is the product like, whether it will be good or not, what should be the frequency, what should be the timing, who should direct it. Then you approve or disapprove, you greenlight the project or not, you interact with the producer, director, you visit the sets, you see that what they have budgeted for is correct, and you see the final outcome, and if it's looking good, you approve it for telecast, and if it's not looking good, you ask it to make changes and bring it back. So
right.
That was the time of my interaction with, say, Anurag Basu, Anurag Kashyap, and a whole lot of people who were starting in television and in the industry at that point of time.
Right.
But at that time was the great Mr. Kamlesh Pandey, who was Vice President Programming out of Rediffusion, who has written movies like Tezab, Thoda Romani Ho Jaya.
Right. Right.
He used to analyze scripts, and that's how I and tell me what is right or wrong. I was reporting into it. So I learned a lot in terms of script analysis from Kamlesh ji. He's a legend of the industry.
Okay.
To Rang De Basanti, if we remember it is.
Yes.
So he's my script guru, so to say.
Oh, wow. So I think from now onwards, the youth who is watching this particular video, they would also go and watch more and more content from Sir, so that they can also learn a lot of scripting and all of that stuff if they want to be in the media or in the movie industry, in the scripting line, basically the content line, right? In the media, I think it will be the content aspect.
Yes, it's better to define, and the way I define what I do is management of entertainment.
Management of entertainment, right? MOE. Super.
Anybody coins that or uses that or specializes that. You have courses now in event management and this and that, etc. So, but basically what you want for a creative enterprise,
right?
The executive that you want for a creative enterprise is somebody who knows management and somebody who knows entertainment. Somebody who direct people in both the lines.
Right. And most of the colleges, I have also been a part of some of the colleges where I studied, and then I also got an opportunity to go there and be as a guest visitor or as a guest lecturer for some of the known brands and event management training programs out here in Pune, in Bombay, and in Delhi as well. But when I went there, I could observe one biggest drawback in the market, which I tend to solve, and that is the reason why we are here and having a conversation on entertainment, on media, on industries like this, and movies and films. The problem that I observed was information overloaded. That most of the people, they are overloaded with a lot of information, and the people who are their trainers, they themselves have no clarity. They themselves have never worked in the market. These people who are the HOD of events in that particular brand or that college who's teaching event management, these people are ex-alumni of the same college. So it's like I passed out in 2007 example. So by 2010, if a new batch is coming in,
they're not practitioners.
Exactly, they're not practitioners. They all are just out of the same college, going back, and they became HOD, and now they are saying people that this is how events are being done. But on the actual ground, on the main day, it's a complete different experience. So
they've never put up a rig and put 1,000 park and
yeah, they don't know how they even don't know what are the brands which we can take up for Parkins. So they will be just telling Parkins, they'll be saying Sharpies. But if I ask them top 3 brand names who make Sharpies in the world, they don't know about it. If I ask them top 3 sound making companies, like they know JBL, but they don't know the series of JBL which is required. They know STX, but they don't know which brand it is representing to. It's like that. Or they know TW Audio, but they don't know the series that is required to be used. So these were the drawbacks that I could see in the technical aspect, as well as when all of these people, I could observe that they all want to be in artist management, in backstage management, or in production. Nobody wants to be in the sales aspect of the industry. In entertainment, I observe this. Nobody wants to be in the marketing. And I don't think so there is any event marketing agency in India right now. So what do you think? Event marketing agency business, if somebody is willing to start right now, will it be a booming market in the near future? Will it have some support as an independent event marketing agencies?
Yes, now with the digital media coming up, and for example, whatever you and I are doing at the moment is also an event. So
right, sir.
Or a conference. It's done by other industry leaders like Mr. Anurag Patra, who does Exchange for Media.
Right.
He does that very effectively.
Right.
Tarsem, who you know also personally,
yes, sir.
I guess does it very effectively. Only Much Louder does it very effectively.
Yes.
They have become simpler to make in the virtual age.
Right.
For me, I created some of the very difficult, concerts of the country ever. Like Asha Bhosle, the highest recorded artist of the world. She has one concert in her life, 50 musicians.
Right.
Huge. It was for Sony. That's also directed by me. It was produced by Wizcraft, incidentally.
Oh, produced by Wizcraft, Mr. Sebastian Joseph.
Sabas
okay.
And Viraf. Yeah.
Achha, Viraf. Okay. Awesome.
3 of them. Industry leaders
Yeah, they are the industry leaders. They were the, I think, first event management company in the country. Am I right, sir?
Yeah, you can't say first, but definitely the biggest and the best in their business. There's been no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And then I've been a lot in Bangalore also. Here also, DNA has been doing a lot of international, very great with international artists. So, what I was saying, that putting up an event of that size, then, from the day I went onto the ground, we did it in Goregaon Police Grounds. From the day we struck the ground till the day I shot the show completely, it was 90 days.
Every single day people were working?
Every single day.
And every single day there was recording happening? For 90 days?
From the set construction, for which cranes came from Delhi and the whole set was suspended.
Super.
And the security and the carpeting and the audio and all the lights in Bombay got over, and some lights from Bangalore. The first time that, Mumbai saw what is known as an Akela crane, 120 feet Jimmy Jim.
Right.
First used by me from Anand Cinesa, from it came from there.
Wow.
And everything all. So it used to be, 1,200 people a day for those many days to put up a show which looks like that. Nitin Desai as the art director, while Devdas was being made at Film City, day and night, and because you could work only in the nights.
Right.
In the entire day, you couldn't light up, you couldn't do anything. So
right.
It was so difficult then. What I'm trying to say.
Can you give a more information about how is a 3D concert looks like, or what's the concept of it? Just a bit of understanding for a normal public to understand what a 3D concert would look like in the future.
See, it has happened. The first one was by YouTube, and the second one in the world was with Rahman, which I did. In India, it was the first one.
Wow.
So basically, I put up 4 cinema screens in the Bangalore Palace grounds.
Okay.
Theater screens. And I shot the entire show in 3D, multicam 3D, and showed it to people who were sitting in that same ground. So they could, kind of reach out their hand and try and touch Rahman while they are watching it on the screen.
Oh my God, they were feeling like they're meeting that person live there. Augmented reality is what we use, that terminology right now.
It's slightly different. Augmented reality and shooting stereoscopic 3D are two technically
different.
There's only one thing which is common in them, is that in augmented reality you see stereoscopic 3D. That means you see depth.
Right.
But in augmented reality you can place a lot of things, you can imagine a lot of things, and you can access it accordingly. Here you're only the viewing experience is changed. If you've seen Avatar in 3D, or that, or if you've seen Haunted or something like that, Vikram Bhatt had made.
Right. All of the 3D movies that we have normally watched in a Bollywood cinema, wearing that 3D glasses, that's the experience that you're talking about, right?
On a live ground on 4 screens. That's what.
Oh my God, massive. I'm super excited to watch this concert. When is it going to launch?
I have no idea. I'm a producer for it. I just directed the 3D.
Awesome. So moving forward, sir, what should be one's approach? So this video is going to be watched by maximum amount of audience who are in the age group of maybe 18 to 26, because the audience that follows me are in the age group of 18 to 26, as well as on my another channel where I talk about event management. So I started a startup called as Event Backend. And that means that anything that happens on the back end of the event, we take care of it, right from the marketing to displaying to production, or anything and everything in the back end of the event. We don't want to be the face of the company, okay? We just want to take care of the back end part of it. So in that, the terminology that I see right now, most of the people have been also using in the event space, which is called as eventpreneurship, like entrepreneurship. So I named that terminology eventpreneurship. Now I see a lot of people in the industry, they are already using it, and they have already started to make it as a directory of eventpreneurship, as a directory as well. But coming back to the terminologies and all of this stuff, the youth, the main people who are going to watch this is the youth of our country. What is that one message that you would like to pass on to them, and you would guide them that this is how you should approach towards the media industry or the mass comm industry?
Specifically to event production, or to?
Yes, specifically to event management people who wants to grow in their in event management space.
Yeah, so the first thing that they teach in event management is the first thing that you need to forget, probably.
Yes.
It's called the show flow.
Right, sir.
So, I've been faced with this challenge many times. Doing a very large event, a very young executive will run up to me and say, "Okay, sir, but what is the show flow?" And that's actually all they're concerned, or all they know, or all they've learned about is that what is going to be the sequence of things. So, the show is not the show flow,
Right.
Yeah. So I had to tell one of them that I had told Mr. Rahman that my camera will be coming from here at this point of time. You have to extend your hand so that your hand will seem as if it's coming out from the screen. Now this is going to happen in this song. Now if he does not do it, what is going to happen to your show flow?
Right. It breaks down.
So people always forget that event is live. Event means live, and it needs a sequence, it needs a production, but it is like a match. actually.
So can we also use this terminology that anything that is happening around us is an event?
Yes, I was shooting one concert and Govinda had to do a number at Nico, My Darling Natasha.
Right.
He was supposed to arrive at before the show started. He arrived after 4 songs.
Oh my God. Okay.
Now, my shooting sequence and the whole sequence that I had given to the entire show floor team got jumbled up. It doesn't mean that the show stopped.
Exactly.
The show floor was put into the garbage.
So that time, the only one thing that can help you is your CS.
That time, the only thing that works is the director's call.
And the common sense of all people coming down together.
On the director's call, you can't leave it to common sense of other people because there will be 50 brains doing it. So you need to tell all the musicians, okay, we are dropping Monica, Oh My Darling now, we are taking Aja Aja Mo Pyar Tera now.
Right.
Wrap up that, change to that page, be ready. This has to be done in the quiet time. Everybody has to be given those instructions and you have to move on. So everything does not go the way it is planned. Otherwise, it would have been brilliant.
Right.
It's nice to know it, yeah, but it's nice to know how to disaster manage anything and make sure that it still looks seamless. When you have Yash Chopra or Himse Joshi or Ustad Zakir Hussain sitting in the first row, you can't mess up and you can't let them feel that it's an unpreparedness or oh, my show flow is gone, wait for a minute, I'll come back after some time. It can't happen.
It can't be like that. Okay.
Your seamlessness has to be still maintained. And you have to be prepared for that. Anything can happen.
People should not know about what has happened.
That's showmanship.
Awesome.
You have to cover it up.
You have to cover it up.
As you said, the line that they should know about it is that they will know how to do it only by practically and technically learning about it. That is most important. And then experiencing it under somebody who has done it before and seeing how it actually happens. That's the only way to do this. It's I often compare it to surgery. You can teach all the surgery that you want to a surgeon, and say, okay, brilliant. Now, does he become ready for a heart transplant?
No.
He has not seen it happen, till he has not assisted it, till he has not been into that situation day in and day out. He will not be able to even use the scalpel to cut open. Forget operating.
Right.
So the way surgery is learned is the way anything in entertainment, especially in the direction or the production part of it, is learned.
Wow, this is a superb analogy. And everybody in the audience, I want you guys to drop in ready to learn in the comments below, so that sir keeps on going on giving you a lot of nuggets which you can take up with you people. And the end of the video, you can comment down your top 3 secrets that you guys have learned so far from sir. So now moving forward towards something that is very close to your heart, because I have been a person who loves to know what is very close to you. I'm so excited to know about what has been your vision, mission behind what you have been doing with Indian Music Lab. Also, what is very close to your heart, one project that you wish that if you get a chance, then you would do anything and everything to make this project the most successful project that you have ever done. So could you give a limelight on that too, sir?
So Indian Music Lab is basically an initiative that I started where we promote, new singers from the television industry itself, but I do not like the system of rating or ranking anymore.
Everybody is unique. That's what you promote.
If I asked you or if I asked any participant today, who is better or who is supposed to be a winner, even take Kishore Kumar and Mohammad Rafi, what can your answer be?
They both are good in both different aspects.
It's ridiculous to even give an answer.
Right.
Correct. So the singers who are on the top today, take a Juban Nautiyal, take an Arijit Singh, who are ruling the industry today. Some of them, like Shreya Ghoshal and Sunidhi Chauhan, came out as winners. Some of them were thrown away from the prelims.
Right, they were.
Okay, and we know a whole lot of winners of these contestants who were told by a whole lot of people that you are so great.
And you are going to be on the top list.
And you don't even know their names today.
Right, sir.
So one very important message that I want to give is that I didn't want to rate anybody. Whoever sounded good in their genre, you should have to give them that space. Papon sounds like Papon. KK sounds like a rock star.
Right.
Sonu Nigam sounds soulful like a Mohammed Rafi. Kumar Sanu sounded the way he sounded. Javed Ali sounds pure and pious like Mohammed Rafi. They all have their spaces. So new and unknown singers who could not get into these places and were getting dejected. Oh, we didn't make it, etc. I said there is no competition. You come, we produce you. We produced it. We funded it. Sony was kind enough to give us a release. They launched all the singers.
All of your singers were launched?
All singers are launched on Telugu.
Wow, wonderful. A huge round of applause for all of them.
All of them were launched with each song being played 240 times. 1 month, each song of theirs was released. And we gave them a digital release.
Wow.
And this completely no competition, no judgment, no nakhra, no nothing. Whatever we found is good enough to listen with our musical knowledge.
Right.
Of the years of acquisition, whatever we would commercially go and buy or see and listen and say good, we produce them. So that is what we do in Music Lab. And then coming back to what you asked me about, what is close?
Something very close to your heart, yeah.
So continuing in the same journey, I found a musician in Indore. In Bhopal. He was introduced to me from somebody from who's from my hometown Indore. Mr. Nitin Soni is an excellent sound person and an excellent person and a musician, a family of musicians themselves. So they said that, Rohitji, you should meet this person. Now, his name is Raju Rao. He is, visually impaired since his birth. He can't see, he has never seen light in his life. Yeah. And he plays the piano, he sings, and he plays and sings very well. And he runs his entire family on that. Very decently. He has grown up children. He has trained his computers to take voice commands. So he has set up a sound studio. And now the biggest part that still is, this still doesn't make him that great. So he actually plays the guitar upside down, not left side, right. Upside down. So those who are musicians can understand. The thinnest string is on the top. The thickest string is on the
bottom. Wow.
And then I asked him, how did you learn to play this upside down? Even I am a guitarist. Forget upside down, I can't play it left to right also. Upside down means the whole chord structure, the whole playing, the whole mechanism is
different.
I mean, how do you hold a C chord, the first chord itself, upside down? You can't do it. There's nobody in the world who has ever done it. So his reply was so simple. He said that, Rohitji, nobody in my house, मेरे घर में किसी को मालूम नहीं था गिटार कैसे पकड़ना, और मेरे को गिटार सीखना ही था, तो गिटार एक दिन लेके कोई आ गया कैसे, तो मैंने उसको उल्टा पकड़ लिया और मैं सुन के सीखा हूँ. So the way I held the guitar the first time, I learned it like that. And if you listen to him playing, he plays as good as any other industry musician. I've done 2 songs with him, and I've done one very iconic cover with him also. Thanks to.
Is it there uploaded already in the media?
It is there in Indian Mix Lab. It's called Nanada Kya Kasoor by Raju Rao. So
I think our audience would love to listen to that particular song, and even I am right now. I have a lot of goosebumps. I'm excited to hear this particular person. After you complete this, if you allow me, then can I visit to that particular channel? And is it possible that I can play it for our viewers?
Yes. It's called Indian Mix Lab.
Okay.
Indian Music Lab has only originals. Indian Mix Lab has covers, and in that you need to go to Raju Rao, and the song is Nanada Kya Kasoor. So the idea is that we make a whole lot of films in the industry on glorified people, and there's nothing wrong in it. They're worth it. So you'll make something like Bhag Milkha Bhag. You'll make films on legends. who have already become legends, even if they are alive or dead, but they have already become legends.
Right.
And here is a person who's as a musician with this kind of a capability, which nobody has in the world, still struggling to make ends meet, and is that talented and that gifted and that unique in the world, that I think that it's a feature film subject.
Superb. And I think this, I understand it. One more analogy, sir. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just wanted to pass on this particular message to most of the people. So I get a lot of DMs on my Instagram channel, on my Facebook, and people keep on telling me that we don't have much money to study events. We don't have this. We don't have that. But imagine, guys, this person has never seen light. So he could have made a lot of excuses that I don't know how a guitar looks like. I don't know how to read a chord. I don't know how to read the notes. I don't know how what is music all about. He didn't know nothing. But this person, he proved that if you wish and if you have the direction in the right manner, if your internal game is right, if your mindset is right, that you want to do something in your life, then there is nothing that can stop you.
So
this person is an inspiration, sir.
So I've decided to work on that script, and this is very, very close to my heart.
Wow.
I've signed him up and I've started producing with him, and I'm looking for people to come in, large studios to come in and participate and help me do this production. So I'm at that stage. There are 3 things in Indian Music Lab. You'll find one of his song Lela Lela, which is also from Andhadhund, which is Naina Kya Kasoor, and there is one interview of him speaking about the reality. These 3 things are the interview is it's a 2.5 minute of Raju Rao. Please find that also. It has some text.
Right, sir. So
I've the best thing to play out to the audience.
Right. So do you want me to play it right now or later on?
Your call. You can go ahead right now.
Okay, sir. I will just quickly go ahead and share my screen to the people out there. All right, guys. Listen this out and let us know in the comments below if you guys liked it or not.
अरे अभी प्यारा सा चेहरा दिखा है, जाने क्या कहूँ उस पे क्या लिखा है। गहरा समंदर दिल डूबा जिसमें घायल हुआ मैं उस पल से इसमें। नैना दा क्या कसूर वे कसूर वे कसूर, नैना दा क्या कसूर वे कसूर वे कसूर, नैना दा क्या कसूर वे कसूर वे कसूर, ऐ दिल तू बता रे। नैना दा क्या कसूर वे कसूर वे कसूर, नैना दा क्या कसूर वे कसूर वे कसूर, नैना दा क्या कसूर वे कसूर वे कसूर, ऐ दिल तू बता रे।
Hello friends, I am Raju Rao from Bhopal. I am a musician and singer. बट आई एम विजुअली इम्पेयर्ड और पिछले 25-26 सालों से मैं संगीत की सेवा कर रहा हूँ, लाइव परफॉर्मेंसेस कर रहा हूँ।
नैना दा क्या कसूर वे कसूर वे कसूर, नैना दा क्या कसूर वे कसूर वे कसूर, नैना दा क्या कसूर वे कसूर वे कसूर, ऐ दिल तू बता रे।
जब रोहित जी से मेरी इंदौर में मुलाकात हुई तो उनका पहला सवाल यही था कि बोले आप गिटार उल्टा बजाते हो, कैसे बजाते हो। मुझे पता नहीं था कि गिटार को पकड़ते कैसे हैं, मेरे घर में भी किसी को नहीं मालूम था। तो जैसा मैंने पकड़ा वैसे ही बजाना शुरू कर दिया, जैसा बाकी लोग बजाते हैं शायद मैं भी वैसा ही ठीक ठीक बजा लेता हूँ। जब उन्होंने मेरा गिटार सुना तो उन्होंने कहा कि बोले आप तो उन लोगों से भी अच्छा बजाते हो जो लोग सीधा बजाते हैं। मैंने कहा कि मैं कोशिश करता हूँ अच्छा बजाने की और शायद मैं बजा भी लेता हूँ। और रोहित जी ने कहा कि बहुत जल्दी वो समय आने वाला है कि जब आप मुंबई में होंगे और आपके लिए कुछ अच्छा हम लोग करेंगे। तो मुझे स्पेशली उन्होंने बोला कि आपको कुछ अलग जॉनर में परफॉर्म करना है। तो मैंने कहा रोहित जी मैं तो अभी तक गीत और गज़ल और फिल्मी गाने गाता आया हूँ, तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं ठीक है, बोले चेंज होना चाहिए। तो मैंने फिर उनके कहने पर चेंज किया। देन अभी उन्होंने ये कहा है कि आपको रैप भी करना है, तो मैंने कहा ठीक है, मैं उसके लिए भी तैयार हूँ।
इतपलिए दौड़े उत्पलिए भागे, होरी हो जाए जब नैना जागे, हुआ ये है समझो। दिल दिल के मिलते सांचे और खांचे, जो है बनाता ऊपर से झाके, बत्ती है ना है धूप, न कसूर न कसूर, नैना दा क्या कसूर, बेकसूर बेकसूर, नैना दा क्या कसूर, बेकसूर बेकसूर, है दिल तू बता रे।
उम्मीद है कि आप मेरे सॉन्ग जरूर देखेंगे और पसंद भी करेंगे। आपका कितना प्यार मिलता है, देखते हैं क्या होता है। थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग माई वीडियोज़। थैंक यू।
Amazing. This is amazing, sir.
So making musicians like this matter is what I want to do now.
Awesome. So what do you think is gonna be the future of entertainment industry? Is a king's son gonna be the next ruling king, or the independent artist era is what is gonna be flourishing in the upcoming future? What do you think, sir?
See, our definition of independent itself is very wrong if we go by music industry here. Everywhere in the world, somebody who's not signed with a label is independent.
Right.
So the signed artists are signed artists and independent artists are independent. But in India, that is commonly understood as people who sing for films are film singers and everybody else is a independent artist.
Right.
So let me first clarify that film singers or film musicians or film as a fraternity and non-film is not the basis of calling it independent or not independent. Independent actually means somebody who is not locked with the label, can do anything whatever they want to kind of say. Those are independent artists. Indie artists or independent artists starting off young, there's nobody backing them up, they don't have too much promotions behind them, etc. Those are independent artists. Wow. So since you asked about film music and independent music here, that as you are seeing that change happen from theatrical viewing getting reduced and in-home viewing getting increased, digital platforms releasing in large pictures also because of the pandemic and because of other reasons, people are not wanting to go out and they don't need to go out.
Right.
Also to enjoy it. Earlier television screens were small, sound was bad, color was not that great, impact was not so nice. Today you get large size televisions, you have home theater systems, every home can enjoy it in their kind of a setup. It's become affordable that kids have it in their rooms, and I mean even for middle class or lower middle class families, having two televisions has become a common setup. It never was a common setup. Earlier households used to have one television, everybody used to sit in front of it.
Right.
That was and watch only what was provided. So media has changed that way, that people watch what they want to watch when they want to watch and pay only for what they watch. So
right.
with this preference being available in the hands, just for film, just like film, just for music also. So that's how independent artists, as we call them now, truly will have the scope of becoming big without the support of feature films also.
Right.
There's so many singers who have views which feature film songs don't have.
Right.
And they self-promote it also. They take Google ads also. They do everything to become good and big enough for themselves. At least they're doing it for themselves. And
right.
if then they become good as artists or as performers, they reap it all through live performances or how the track is supposed to be. So that path is going to grow for sure, and that needs to be worked on, very critically. Dependence on film and just singing for a film or getting that one breakthrough happens to 1 in a million. And one very important thing, Nick, I want to say about, since you told me that your age group is 18 to 25, which is following you. Being good is a necessity in our industry. Means a surgeon has to know how to do his surgery. A musician has to know his music. But in most cases, which is not related to our industry, that is art, a good engineer will get a good job and a good salary. Ours is the only industry specific in art to that kind of a manner, where ability and success are not necessarily related.
Right.
It does not mean that if you are good, you will be successful. That should not dishearten you to think that you are not good. Because if in the industry only good was supposed to be successful, then Bhimsen Joshi would have been much more successful than Kishore Kumar.
Right.
Because he was much better as a singer. So
right.
At that note, I'd like to leave it to you that don't get, troubled if you are good and you're still not finding success. Being good and being successful are not necessarily related, and have different things. Be happy at what you are doing good. Success will have to follow. At what scale, it depends.
It depends on how much of energy have you put into that particular job.
It is completely circumstantial, and becoming popular and becoming good are two different things. This is one thing that people do not understand.
Right.
People do different things to become popular and different things to become good.
Good.
And the day you start learning the merging of why good can be popular also, that is when you come up with scripts like Three Idiots and you make films like this.
Right, sir.
Only then. It has to be entertaining, it has to be managing, it has to be that kind of a setup. That is why Aamir Khan takes 2 years to prep for a film.
Yeah.
He can do popular stuff very commonly.
Right.
So, how do you first be good, then be popular, or be one of them, and then when you mix it is when the magic happens.
Superb. I think a lot of people who are watching us will really have taken this thing noted down in their paper, is that being good is not necessarily being successful, and being successful is not necessarily being good. Right? So moving forward, sir, the last question that I have for you for today is, and giving me so much of your valuable time, would be based out of a modeling industry. This question is a little bit personal to me because a very good friend of mine and a very people who are very close to me and my surrounding, they all are, some of them are models, some of them are actors, some of them are great artists, some are dancers, some are musicians, and I have been surrounded with these kind of people, in more of these kind of people. So somebody asked me that can a model become famous without getting associated with any agency? So what is your take on that? Or is it very important for a model to be a part of an agency, and only then is it possible that she can go and she can become great model, or he can become a great model?
No, not really. It's only because you are not trying to do the effort that the agency is doing. So, let me be very blunt, and people would probably find this bad. Being a model does not take, apart from fitness, too much of other effort. You can spend 3 hours, 4 hours on that. If you go to an agency, you think an executive of the agency is going to do even 1 hour a day in promoting you? They're not. They have multiple people like you.
Right.
So what are you doing to promote yourself? A. B. They have the access to brands. You don't have the access to brands.
Right.
So are you creating the access to brands?
Is your content relevant to brands' content?
Yes.
Okay.
See, have you made any demos that you think that you can do better in terms of acting and performance and make it as a show reel? 4, have you actually contacted the creator who's going to be suggesting the models to the clients, the makers of the ad films? How many ad film makers and photographers do you know who actually genuinely do work?
Right. Or you are already trapped in the coordinators era. This is what you mean, right, sir?
Or agencies era. Yeah.
Or agencies era. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So you are listening to what people are telling you. You are not opening your mind to what is exact. This is where management has to come into creatives.
Right.
And you as a backend, if you can set something up like this, that this is what it should be.
Right.
Now I'll just give you one example. You just saw the video of Naina Da Kya Kasoor.
Right, sir.
I've given him a chashma of Vogue.
Yes.
And I want Vogue to brand a video of a guy wearing a black glasses who does not know how to see. This is the idea that I'm trying to put.
This is massive. Without speaking, the message should be passed on.
That's it. So
Super.
So how is this one simple model thinking about his or her career?
Right.
If he or she thinks that he can or she can do this role very well, supposing she's approaching say a Brooke Bond,
Yeah.
or she thinks that she can model for a Brooke Bond, or he thinks he can model for a Brooke Bond. Has he done an imitation of what the actual actor has rendered and sent it back? Does he know who has made the ad? Does he or she know who's the agency? Does he or she know who was the producer of that ad film?
And are they connected and are they learning from their other projects or not?
Has he or she gone on to their social media, said, "Sir, I like this ad of yours very much. This is my reel. Can you give me a chance to appear for an audition the next time?" Or can you ask your agency to keep me in a shortlist? I want to just appear and send it. Or is it okay with you if I send you a reel of mine? Will you watch it and comment on how I can improve? So can a model not do that much for herself or himself's promotion?
Right.
If they can't do, then they might as well go to the agencies and listen to what nonsense they are speaking.
And agency business are, you and I, we both understand it very well, that they just create the FOMO, which is fear of missing out. Oh, if you don't do this, you're going to miss out on this. If you don't do this, you're going to miss out on this opportunity. So,
Boss, I have done more than 450, 500 films, ad films, corporate films in my life, and I'm again coming to Bombay. I'm shooting for a soap brand. I'm shooting for three brands. At the moment, I'm in Bangalore.
right.
And I will be again looking for talent, of course. And let me tell you, there is no audition and there is no setup that gets people through onto it. I know the faces that I want. The circle that exists, the people who have approached me so many times and said, "This, sir, please have a look at it." Out of that pool itself, there are so many that if I am going to take 3, there are going to be 100 who are going to say, "Sir, why didn't you take?"
Right.
So it never happens like that. If the people who are directly connected, and it doesn't, maybe I know a person for 20 years and I can still don't work with them. The opportunity did not arise. It has to click at that time. Okay, this brand, I need turmeric. I need somebody who has an Afghani look because it's for the Oman market. So my face should be kind of this. So the people who I know, out of them, these 3 fit the best. Let me propose these 3 to the client. Then let's see who gets okay with them. That's how I choose my talent.
And sir, will it be right? Will it be right what I think in this manner? I completely agree with what you have been speaking about. So on the similar lines, will it be right for a model or for an actor, whenever they are approaching to anybody, if they understand the model in which the agency works, the model in which the directors work, and what is their exact requirement, and then if they approach, do you think that this would really solve down a lot of hassle that has been created? Because just randomly sending your reels and videos and your content to anybody who is coming as a coordinator and saying that this is the requirement, send us, we will charge this much of commission, we'll pay you this much of money, just keep on sending them the content. That doesn't make any sense. Am I right, sir?
No, sending them the content never makes sense, is what I'm trying to tell you. It never makes sense. Because
Sending it to the right person.
mostly the directors who are doing anything that is credible will already have seen people who have made that effort. You're not getting the point that I'm saying. Nick, focus on what I'm saying very carefully on this for your audience. People who have individually made that effort to find me and contact me are already sitting in my inbox.
Right.
No casting generally happens through casting agencies. It may be the best of the people. This is the availability and the management happens through casting. This is my experience. You know, the biggest casting directors of the country will go on role-specific setups. And my role is a guy who lives in UP, Bihar, his age group, this. Now tell me what are the options. Then the director will say, oh my God, I forgot. This can be an option. Okay, that's perfectly fine. He'll suit. But if he has Pankaj Tripathi sitting in his inbox and available, or Nawaz sitting, is he going to ask the casting guy whether he should cast him or not?
Right.
So it comes as option 2. And
Okay.
it comes as a proposal only. So
Okay.
I'll say I want a beautiful face for a soap. Now I know 3 people who already fit that bill. I know 30 people who fit that bill.
Right.
Why? Because these 30 people have made that effort directly to find me, reach me, get onto a Facebook, get onto my WhatsApp, get onto
LinkedIn,
my
Twitter.
Insta, get onto my LinkedIn. The way you also found me, said, sir, we do this. Can we send this to you? Can this be done? Can we send? I say, I limited to 2 pictures. Yeah, okay. Can we meet? I've shot a lot of stuff. I used to shoot New Indian Face. I shot New Indian Face for Face of the Week for Times of India for 2.5 years. I've launched more than 120 girls, out of which 20-30 are heroines.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, including big names. Forget it. So that's only the faces. I used to shoot just for the brand. So people who know, you have to know people who are doing correct and good work.
And what would be your suggestion for somebody who is just a beginner? Say like somebody is from say like North. Somebody is from Himachal. Now he or she has a desire to become a best model in the country. That's her desire. He and she got flued up, came down to Bombay, started to work side by side on some other businesses so that they survive in Bombay. And also they also started to be a part of those groups where they get a chance to go and give auditions. Before COVID, they used to go to give auditions. That was the procedure. When they go into auditions, then they say whether you're selected, you're not selected, whether you're shortlisted or not. Now this is over. The strategies that used to work before COVID are being thrown away in the garbage bag because that doesn't work anymore.
Even it didn't work even then.
It didn't work even then?
No.
I don't have much experience into it. That's why I thought I'll ask you this question.
Ask your friends if they got selected by auditions.
There were a few of them. They told me that we got selected. So that clicked in my mind and I was like, okay, let me ask to the right person.
For stills or for where bulk casting is happening.
Okay. Not for main faces.
No, solo faces, it's very difficult.
Okay. So they are always working on the junior line or the back end line of the main face. They're not the one who should be featured.
It may not be right or to say or to do whatever.
Or maybe my question would be, sir, sorry to interrupt. Maybe my question would be like, what should one do when they are in Bombay as a fresher? And what would be your top 3 suggestions for them, that the initial steps that they should be focusing on to approach?
First thing is understanding of themselves. Personal understanding that what is your face like,
right?
What is your body structure like, and
right?
What kind of visuals do you suit,
right?
What kind of dialogue delivery can you do, and what is your capability? Just because somebody in your hometown said बहुत सुंदर दिखते हो, जाओ हीरो बन जाओ या हीरो बन जाओ, और अगर आप उस गलतफहमी में यहाँ आ गए हो तो ये आपकी गलतफहमी है जी, नंबर 1 जी. So everybody who gets out of VT station and thinks that Bombay is going to make them a star has come with a wrong perception in their head.
Right.
So it cannot be supported by anybody. Then they say that, oh, industry did this, industry. Nobody went to your house and called you and said, come here and you are so great. At the same time, we face it as a huge challenge. Supposing we want to cast somebody, we are never able to get the correct people because correct people are already always busy. The people who are actually having talent and are really working that hard, they're finding that time. I have one music video pending because one of my boy and girl, they're not so great. I don't want to name them also. For 6 months, for one antara, I'm not able to shoot them.
They're booked?
They're booked.
Oh my God, okay.
They're continuously booked. Either their date is not matching or my date is not matching. And they're not great brands, but they're great models. They're big models. So they are working every day.
Right.
So it doesn't happen that way. These people have approached and they only approached me. That whatever work is there, please pass on. And whenever there was a fit, I gave it. That is how it is going to happen.
Right.
The question that I was asking you was, supposing whoever, your friend, your model, your brother, your sister, supposing they got 20 crore rupees of funding tomorrow to make a film. Will they, for taking a director, will they take a screen test or they will take somebody who they know?
Somebody who they know?
Does it answer my question?
Yes.
So the top priority will be to somebody who I have worked with, somebody who I have seen, somebody who I know, somebody who has approached me and is already sitting there. Why do I run a casting?
Right.
So casting happens only when you don't have the right person.
Right. When you don't have the right person. So that from the crowd we pick someone.
Yeah. And then you're always dealing with the person that you don't know, what kind of a working relation. One video I went, a model is saying that no, I'm not on the shoot. At the moment of the shoot, she says, I'm not going to color my hair. Half a day got wasted. I don't want to work with such people.
Right.
I want to work with people who I know believe in me completely. I believe in them completely, and we can finish off the production
As soon as possible.
Quickly and nicely and creatively.
And in the end, it should also match with your vision, right, sir? The artist whom you would like to work with, if they help you to save your cost, your time, your energy, your effort, you would love to work with them.
Their punctuality, their look, how they can deliver the lines that you've given, how they can pose. There are 40,000 factors in that, and there are so many good people. It's like getting selected in an Indian team for cricket. There are so many good players. When Kohli has 5 people who he knows he can rely on, why will he go and try to
find a new guy and experiment it?
Some selector in Manipur that sent me a guy from there. Why? Waste of time for the whole production. Understand it. So actors should find nice makers, nice producers who have delivered stuff in their life before, who have a legacy, not हम अपनी पहली पिक्चर बना रहे हैं या आदर्श नगर में हमारा ऑडिशन है.
Got it.
Not that all of them are bad or whatever.
No, I got it.
But it's a kind of circuit which comes. It's business for them.
Right.
No, for you it is your passion and your work. For them it's business. So it just works like that. अरे आज और इतने फोटो हो गए, किसी ने कुछ और कर सकता है. Nothing right or wrong about it. Everybody has the right to do their business. But how intelligent are you
to be in the game, to be in that model? Awesome, sir. I think this really helps. This would really help the particular person who asked me this question when they watch this particular video. It's not only one person. There were many of them.
Be very intelligent. A person, when you know that you can rely on a maker or a photographer or a person or a campaigner or an ad filmmaker who's going to really do good work and do justice, then you have to approach them and you have to let them know that you can do this and this, and they will sort you and keep you in their mind accordingly. Whenever the right situation will come, they will match it.
Right.
Then if you are not available, they will match it. And I am telling you, I did so many videos. I reached Bangalore to do one video. The person who was supposed to come here did not arrive. I had such a tough time. I had to take somebody I did not know at all in Bangalore who arrived straight through a coordinator. And it was the most nonsensical shoot that we ever had. We threw away everything that we shot.
Oh my God. So it's a waste of time and
at the same time, the casting guy did his job. The person thought that he or she is very good and everything. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. Otherwise, directors and actors would not have been sitting and prepping for years to make a feature.
Right. So to sum it up, the answer that I got from you, there can be two ways how a person can be successful in their career. One, in any career, this is what I could take away from you, from the learnings that I have learned from you in this particular video. One, if he or she is super talented or super knowledgeable in the domain expertise that they are doing in.
Being good is a given. You can't
exactly.
It starts with that you are good.
Right.
As a musician, as an actor, as a model, as a person, as a face, you are unique and you are good. That is a given. From there. Then what is the effort that you are taking to promote yourself? I'm not saying that you go and meet Mukesh Chhabra, you go and meet the best of the casting people. They do their jobs very well. There are a whole lot of casting guys who do their jobs very well, very nicely. But you're saying agency, one agency, even if you take the biggest of the agencies, how much time do they spend on one person that is locked with them? They have 1,000 people and 10 executives. How can they do justice to you?
Right. So you have to do justice to yourself.
Yes. And that is going to show your intelligence.
And if they keep on acquiring knowledge, because right now we are in the golden age. So if they acquire social media knowledge.
Sorry to interrupt you. You think Nawazuddin Siddiqui and Pankaj Tripathi came through an agency?
Of course not. I don't think so.
And Nawaz has slept with a production executive of mine in a lodge during a shooting for 30 days while acting for it. And Pankaj's story, you know how they have survived after being like this. Manoj Bajpayee, the biggest examples. Do you think they went to casting agents to get roles?
Right. If you want, you find your own way.
They went door to door, knocked. They were told you don't have the face. What are you? Get out. They bore it. They struggled it out till they proved it to the people that you are wrong.
Right, sir. Right.
And what else were they doing? What else were they doing in their time? They are actors, no. If they didn't have an acting role, they were just busy promoting themselves.
Right.
You'll hear so many stories of them that we had 150 rupees so that day we could take auto. So they've gone all through that struggle. But what were they doing? Dedicatedly doing only one thing: promoting themselves. And reaching to the people who are actually doing good content, sitting outside their doors.
Whether you want to do this particular work in any domain, whether you want to be in the featured films or you want to be in TVCs, you want to be in any platform, you have to go to door. You have to ping them from social media also. So if you learn the social media techniques, skills, I think that would also help you to reach out to them much faster, because now you have that particular skill.
Yeah. Writers. How many of our actors know writers? Writers are the guys who decide the sketches of the characters.
Oh wow, yes. Beautiful.
How many of our budding actors who run after casting guys actually run after writers? That sir, ye character ke liye main theek. You don't even know who's writing the movie.
Yeah.
Now if a writer suggests कि गब्बर सिंह के लिए अमजद खान को लेना,
Makes more sense. Right. So they are only trying to follow the way how the herd of the ship has been transferred to, and the common way how people have been approaching. They don't find a new way.
And that's never the best way, and that's not the correct way.
And that's the reason why they are failing.
Yes, and then they blame the industry.
Yes, then they blame the industry that we are not getting paid. I have struggled so much. I've done this, I've done that. Everybody has struggled. Everybody is good. Everybody is unique in their way. So if you want to do your mark, if you really want to make some great things, if you are passionate about what you really want to do, then make some effort, promote yourself, be there, showcase your talent to people.
The correct way only.
Right.
Only the correct way. Nobody is, if you are genuine, nobody is going to be non-genuine to you. That you also know.
Right, sir. I get that. Yes.
100%.
Very true, sir. Very true. So how it's
everybody will respect you professionally who you respect professionally.
Very true, sir. So your vibe will be attracting your tribe. This is what I learned from my mentor. He keeps on saying this, your vibe attracts your tribe. So when I thought this idea that I will be interviewing who's and who's of the industries, in mass comm, everything comes into picture. Media, news reporters, TV presenters, actors, artists, big directors, So I thought that I would take this initiative and interview them so that whatever has been my learning and whatever has been their learning, if we could come down and showcase it to the people who are youth, who are newcomers in the industry, if we could help them to grow something, if by today's video, if people who really want to be a good actor, if they could learn something out of what you told in today's video, I think it's going to be a different set of mindset altogether for them, and the journey would be different. So
the problem is most of them come with the aspiration of being a star. None of them come with the aspiration of being good at their craft.
Right.
That is the second most important thing. In their minds, they are already stars. They are already good.
Right. They don't evaluate.
When they stand in front of a camera and we put 2 lights on and we ask them to give them one shot, that's when we come to know what is their effect.
Right, sir. Right. So I get your point.
They have to work on it. You can show a person a path, but that working has to be done.
Super.
No demeaning of everybody, but everybody can't be best. There are people who are better than you.
But the best are formed outside of the everybody. They are plucked from everybody.
They are the ones who are chosen by eyes which are seasoned.
Superb, sir. Superb. This has been a great session, sir. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to host you and giving such amount of your valuable time. Long time.
Gift that you can give to a person is time, because it's a part of your life that you're giving to someone.
Very true, sir. And I'm very grateful to you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful session.
Very nice. Share this with the youth who